I am Professor Fred Ogolla. I'm the leader of Linda Jamii and also the author of Solomonic Economics. It's been a long journey, intellectual journey, following up the footsteps of Thomas Joseph Mboya. I think in the modern language, you can say this is the goat of Kenya. There's not been anybody in Kenya who has had the deep thoughts about a nation like Tom Mboya. Tom Mboya is not a kingpin. Tom Mboya is not a kingpin that people discuss, which is a small thing. Tom Mboya is a national leader. If you go to the Mausoleum, you can see the Kamba community, the Maasai community. You can see all communities in Kenya, but not just in Kenya, but abroad, India, Korea, the US, everywhere in the world, Israel, they have adored Tom Mboya, meaning that we lost a very good leader. And I've just dedicated a book to Tom Mboya Memorial by saying that poverty cannot coexist with wisdom, and wisdom is Tom Mboya. Anybody in Kenya and the world over can imagine if Tom Mboya lived, would Kenya be at this level of poverty we have? Because mostly we have kings of poverty. Whether they call them kingpins, they're kingpins of poverty. Whether they call them rulers, they're rulers of poverty because they're ruling poor people. And Tom Mboya had a dream for everybody. The flying program that he was taking to the US produced Obama. You can imagine how many Obamas could be there if you have similar leaders like Tom Mboya. But I have understood that the government has actually declared that this is a national mausoleum, but there's just the cost that they are putting. 1,500 shillings cannot maintain this place. And I think the government in Kenya needs to get serious. And I'm going to do serious mobilization. And the activism that Tom Mboya was a trade unionist. I'm also an activist like him. We are going to ensure the government can do much better. Because there are some other places where there's a lot of resources to maintain, but this guy deserves much more than this. We also want to ensure that the case they are talking about between the state and the person who killed Tom Mboya, we want to open that case so that the family can actually directly be involved. Because if there are accomplices that led to the death of Tom Mboya, we cannot allow them. But not just Tom Mboya. So many leaders of Luo have died. And Tom Mboya is not lying here in Luo land alone. We had Robert Obuko, we had Ochuka, we had Alwyn Skodek. Alwyn Skodek and Tom Mboya were students of St. Mary's Yala like myself. And in St. Mary's Yala, they only produce the best. And the best should not lie on the soil. The best should deliver to the world. So we want to ask that this mausoleum of Tom Mboya be given the national respect it deserves that Tom Mboya was. Tom Mboya was destined to be the head of state. But I want to tell anybody who was behind his demise that Tom Mboya's death does not mean the spirits not there. There are so many Tom Mboya spirits moving here. And one day they'll deliver to the nation what the nation has craved for. And also I want to correct something in history, that William Ruto is not the 5th president of Kenya. William Ruto is the 6th president of Kenya, because one Luo leader was killed when he was already the 3rd president of Kenya, and that's Ochuka. And also want to ask the president, just like Tom Mboya is lying here, that we can see, let them give us the body of Ochuka. We were able to reach out to the family. We want Ochuka to be given a state funeral because he was the head of state. And then William Ruto be declared the 6th president. And if this does not happen, we want to mobilize all the Luo leaders of goodwill to start telling the government there must be an ultimatum. They might not operate in Luo Nyanza if we do not know where Ochuka is buried. And if they cannot respect the body and the family of Tom Mboya. And if the family of Tom Mboya cannot have peace and cannot be able to have what's called the justice. I remember the justice in 1969, not delivered until 2024. Is justice denied for so many years. And God will be with us in this. Thank you.
Ogolla just a few questions because he's now this is a man who most of the time if he utter a word which thing like a beer word which actually makes you even to feel talking more and more. Professor, just in few words, I would like to know why you are for the top seat and also you are unaguzwa sana na hii story ya the Luo community. You touched about from your talks, you touched about Arwin Skodek, you touched about Tom Mboya, about Migingo, issues surrounding the community as Luo as a community. Could I hear your interest in this?
You know, we are in a country that we are crying about the issue of tribalism. Yes, yes. The solution will come from Luo. Yes, not yes. that a Luo as a tribe, but Luo actually means that community that unites the whole world. Yes. And that's why you see people like Arguin Skodek, Tom Mboya, Robert Ouko. You can name all those great leaders. They were more united. Look at Tom Mboya cannot be described as a Luo. His history cannot be complete being told from the Luo perspective. Yes. Arguin Skodek the same. Fred Ogolla here the same. So that's one thing that as well. Another thing which is that I know that this is what is paining Kenya. Kenyans' problems, I've analyzed it because if you know your problem is when you can know the solution. Yes. The beginning of a good solution begins by knowing the right problem. The problem of Kenya is at the presidency. Yes. All-time governors get elected, MPs get elected, senators get elected, then they say, we are working with the president to bring development. Yes. If the problem is not the presidency, why are they going to the president to solve the problem? After they have gone, the problem does not go. Yes. The problem continues to stay, but people suffer. You find, for example, all MPs have to go to parliament as governors, senators. So if I become a governor, I'll still have to go to State House to say I'm working with the president. That word working with the president is a big insult. It's the politics of sycophancy. Kenya wanted to devolve itself. Yes. Why are we saying we are working with the president? Resources should be devolved and work. So for me, that's a sad state. And if you look at all the problems we have in this country, begins with the president and ends with the president. Now you see the situation whereby corruption is very high. If I will become head of state, I would call all my ministers and tell them that I live in State House. I don't want anybody to make money for me. So if you want to make money, make for yourself. But if you are found out, my government will take you seriously. Yes. The corruption will end that day. But here, look, Parliament, they have left their duties that were elected members. Look, members of Parliament are passing bills they have not read. So they pass the Finance Act. They have knowledge. They have not read it. Members of Parliament do not even understand the economic implications of a bill. Yes. The Finance Act, they didn't know is going to deny the money in the Senate, the money in the Parliament. How can you pass a bill? Parliament passes a budget. Yes. When Parliament cries they don't have money, and the one who passes a budget. Are you seeing, is the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog? So I want to be a leader that will be able to help people really understand what we call decency. As a head of state, become head of state. But here we have a head of state also who is controlling parliament. A head of state who wants to control governors. A head of state who wants to control judiciary. A head of state who wants to control the kitchen for his family. A head of state who wants to control a youth when he's going to a rally shouting at them. A head of state who wants to clear who goes to heaven, who does not go. If you are a leader, be what you are and live it that way. Then another thing, creating equal opportunities. Kenya is a great country. In fact, if you drive from Nairobi up to this last point of the world, which is now where we are in Lusinga Island, it is very clear that this country is blessed that we cannot exist. And I want to take this up because Tom Mboya did not want to become an MP. Tom Mboya had achieved that. Tom Mboya wanted to bring the vision to become head of state of Kenya.
Could that be the reason why other people just see you and see?
Of course, there's a lot of similarities. I'm sure it has been stated. The mindset thing, the education thing. Remember, Solomonic economic talks about a knowledge-based economy. Why did Tom Mboya not build affordable houses, but Tom Mboya took people to get educated? While the current president wants to build houses with people with no money even to pay rent. So we are looking at someone who does not think. Kibaki never put money on the concrete. He put money on people's brains and heads. So we want leadership that is thinking about how to build the next Kenya. And that's what I'm trying to say is that if anybody wants to follow this kind of leadership, it's good. And the issue that Fred Ogolla is not the issue here. And Fred Ogolla is not the big picture.
I do hear.
You know, they say, like the Luo Council elders told me, that the spirits does their work.
Yes, yes.
And in Luo, we believe that nobody dies. They live upon many people. When Tom Mboya died, that spirit entered people.
Yes, yes.
And his spirit, which is actually knowledge-based economy, is very infectious.
Yes, yes, yes.
Even if you think about Tom Mboya, you just feel you need to learn more and study more. He achieved so much at a young age. How many people are 39 and they are faking degrees? And they're faking master degrees, and they're faking what?
Yes, yes.
They have fake certificates.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tom Mboya achieved all that at 39. Is it not a shame that somebody in their 60 is trying to buy a certificate or fake one? Some people, even at very advanced age, don't have degrees, yet they want leadership that requires degree. For me, this is the problem. Do you know that almost 2/3 of members of parliament have fake certificates? Do you know that not all governors who needs degrees don't have degrees?
Yes, yes.
Yet we are just continue bankrolling them with the degrees. We are having whereby we do not award knowledge. We don't award knowledge. People who do not have qualifications are earning more than people who have qualification. Doctors who have studied until the PhD level are on the street, on the sun,
Yes, yes, yes.
with no money. They cannot even put doctors in internship. But people who cannot even prove they went to school are earning the money and passing budgets.
Yes, yes.
So why don't we reverse, whereby knowledge will be given a bit of prominence and ignorance will have to be put aside?
Time is running out.
I think what I've seen today, because I've never known what I heard from the horse's mouth,
Yes, yes, yes.
that the case is between the person who killed and the state.
Yes, yes.
That's a misnomer.
Okay.
The people who need justice is the family. When the family is not at the center of it,
Yes.
then who is being given justice? If you declare that so and so killed someone, the government is the one after them, who benefits from it?
Okay.
Now, keeping a whole family for all those years that they are waiting to see what happens between the government. Now, Tom Mboya's mother already passed on, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes.
You look at how one of his children already passed on. Who is going to benefit from those things? So time is of essence. And what I want to do is that that case can be opened afresh. Remember, the constitution is very clear. There is no case that can die.
Okay.
That's why even death penalty can never hold, because you cannot be killed. Because if new evidence arises after you have been hanged and they found out you're not supposed to be hanged, what happens? So that case cannot die. Tom Mboya's spirit has not died. And I'll use all my might. The way I've won cases like the house levy, we won cases about like the Hustler Fund, name them. I'm going to put all my might. I'll study Tom Mboya's case. It's been well documented. And I'll go after this case, and we're going to put up a petition so that the family can be given justice now. Thank you.